I think one of the biggest lessons that I've learned through this journey of wellness, as I started it, is almost it starts with self-awareness, right? And it's a lot of with my coaching clients as well. A lot of us are so not aware of ourselves, and once we start working on our self-awareness, we almost start accepting ourselves for who we are. And innately or consequently, you end up truly loving who you are. I actually struggled a lot with just finding myself. I felt like I was floating a lot. Lifestyle factors, right? Hypertension, cholesterol, increased glucose levels, in a sense, right? It's all like affected by our the diet and the lifestyle that we have, right? So it's almost like, yes, you can pop a pill for it, right? But if you're actually living a lifestyle that contradicts the way you're meant to be healing yourself, it doesn't really serve its purpose.
Hi, everyone. Yes, guys, it's another episode of Zen and Now. Today, we're diving into the world of holistic balance, health, and intersection of modern medicine and mindful living. Our guest today is Bhakti Mistry, a dedicated pharmacist, certified health and wellness coach, and passionate advocate for empowering individuals to take care for their well-being. In this conversation, we'll explore her journey, the philosophy of health, a practical way to create sustainable and wellness habits, whether you're looking to optimize your health, finding balance in a busy world, or just simply to be inspired. And this episode is for you. So welcome to the show, Bhakti.
Thank you so much, Kishen. I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you for taking the time out. I know you've been quite busy lately, so thank you. I appreciate it.
No, it's my absolute pleasure. I really commend you on what you do, and well done.
Thank you. So Bhakti, taking us back to your relationship with health and wellness, where did it begin, and where did the interest start?
So I think growing up, when you think of health and wellness, it's almost just like, you shouldn't be eating junk food, and exercising is healthy for you or good for you, and that's about it. For me, health and wellness started. It actually started from a struggle, in a sense. Or actually, before that, let me say about maybe 13 years ago, I was hospitalized for a kidney stone. And the reason that the kidney stone had actually manifested was actually because I never used to ever drink water. Like, I never ever thought that was like a big thing at all, but it was almost like, yes, that happened. And then I just started drinking water all the time. But it still was very much of like something external. And I still didn't really think about, what should I do to actually holistically take care of my health? Right. And the struggles, I actually struggled a lot with just finding myself. I felt like I was floating a lot. I had zero self-awareness. And I ended up going to see a career coach, and she happened to have a psychology background. And she almost like lit the path for me in terms of just understanding who I am and just creating a lot of self-awareness for me. So, to answer your question, I think it came out from a struggle of me trying to find myself and what exactly my purpose is. And by me understanding who I am and taking care of myself made me a lot more passionate and made a lot more effort in terms of health and wellness.
So it's not something that you consciously had growing up or were exposed to growing up. It's just something that happened to you. It made you realize, okay, I need to take care of myself and going forward.
Absolutely. It wasn't anything that I was passionate about, like since I was young or anything like that. It's something that you take for granted, right? And then only afterwards, you actually realize how important it is in this very fast-paced, toxic, stressful lives that we live.
Right. And well, understanding that, I do a bit of research on my guests and as well. So I do realize you were a dancer growing up as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
And so you were pretty active, pretty young.
Yes, I mean, you do it because, like, yeah, I mean, in school you participate in athletics. Whenever there's the seasonal sports, you do that. Dancing was very much, I think it was balance of, me, having a love for our Indian culture in a sense. And yes, I was active with the dancing. So it was almost like things that I was involved actively by default in a sense, but not because I need to take care of my health in
Yeah.
that sense. Yeah.
But you were
Yeah.
in a sense, in
Yes,
a way,
for sure.
yes. Yeah. So, Bhakti, which dance school were you a part of, and what type of dance did they incorporate?
So I was part of the Radha Krishna Dance Academy of Dance and Music, and our guru was Dr. Vinod Hassel. He was a Kathak and folk dance teacher. So I was with him for about 13 years. So I guess most of like my primary school, high school, and even like some of my university years was where it was like every Friday. It was a yeah, it was a routine 2 hours of dancing.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the same school my elder sister was part of as well.
Yeah, we were in the
Yes.
same class.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I attended a couple of those shows. Pretty good.
Yeah. I do really miss it. And if I have the opportunity to get back into it again, I definitely will.
Lovely. That's good.
Yeah.
I guess we all need some form of, external movement or external um, parts where we can also just express ourselves. Not just in our own households or in our communities, but we expressing ourselves in the outside world too. Because we've all got talents. It's just probably just hidden or tapped. Or you just need to tap into it somewhere. And some of us, we put ourselves in. Like for myself, for me, sports was a very important part of my life growing up. Ever since I think I was 6 months, to be to be exact. I would sit on a couch with
Wow.
my yeah, I would sit on my couch with my dad. He exposed me to football. I was sitting on the
Okay.
couch with him and my grandfather, and we were watching the Premier League. And I had the ball like next to me, and I think just something within me was just ever since then, um,
Yeah.
with my influence from my late uncle who passed away not too long ago. Um, he was a major influence in my life because I used to look at him as a role model growing up as being active and always doing the right things, um, with community and stuff like that. And I think I modeled myself more around him. And when I finally realized, okay, this is the thing I'm good at, I immersed myself fully into it. I took part in all kinds of sports, and I saw what worked for me, what didn't work for me. But I think that kept me also away from the rough side of life. It protected me a little bit, so to speak.
Yeah. I think it's so important to find that balance between the actual movement, the act of actually moving and doing what you enjoy, a lot of people when they say physical activity, they'll automatically think of like, the you have to be gymming like super hard
Oh
and
yeah,
like lifting those weights or whatever, but it's almost like don't take those simple, walks for granted, the daily walks for granted, or like just being open to like maybe trying different things. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like a lot of people that I find like they feel that they're struggling to like be consistent, with the exercises, or, trying to go from like 0 to like 7 days a week, which is it's impossible, and it's almost about like just taking that time out to like just figure out and experiment, what exactly do you really enjoy in order for you to be consistent. I feel like you've been really in a good place that you actually found your love for,
yeah,
your exercise at a really young age, and you know exactly what to do, but there's a lot of people like I feel growing up, like I said, like for me it was I didn't actually take it that seriously, but like to start at some point to take care of yourself, it's like sometimes you don't know where to begin, right? And
yeah,
I think it's just about
yeah,
having that open mind and like trying different things.
yeah. Such an
Yeah.
important note or such an important point that you make is consistency. And not just last week, I posted a poll about, what are you struggling with today? And so many people, like a percentage of people were saying they're struggling with their fitness and mindset. And the key is just like you said. Sometimes like you said, you start from 0 to 7 days a week, and you feel like you got to be doing all different kinds of exercises to actually feel like you're doing something. But that small little walk of 5 minutes or 10 minutes starts you on your journey. And then you incrementally start increasing what you do and what you incorporate, because it's not the quantity that we do, it's the quality that we do. That's the most important thing. And I feel like we didn't have the guidance basically to say, okay, you don't have to be doing 100 kilometer per hour sprints or whatever it is to get to where you are. You can start with what your body is made to do, and then eventually it starts building up so that you can get to that level where you can get to, say, 3, 4, 5 times a week. 7 days a week is a lot. Let's be honest. Even I think,
and your body needs a break, right? Like 7 days a week is for me not healthy.
7 days a week can include, just walks and simple movement. You can count that towards
recoveries.
7. Yeah. But you can go 2 or 3 days very hard, and then But it makes sense we have to learn to teach people how to, even ourselves, to slow down at times also, and not just go at that pace where we're going to burn ourselves out. And I feel like that's why there's so many, the spectrum of wellness and mental health and wellness is such a broad discussion nowadays, especially within our communities, because we never had that growing up.
I
don't know if I didn't have it. I was exposed to it probably from being a participant, but not maybe in a newspaper or TV.
What I kind of noticed is, by actually loving who you are, you will automatically start making those conscious decisions for yourself in a good way, right? Because a lot of people will be like, I don't know where to begin. Why should I be doing this? Motivation would be lost, right? But it's almost like once you know, or once you truly start to love yourself in a way, automatically you're going to start making better decisions for yourself, making better choices for yourself. And change is very difficult, right? In a sense, to make those big leaps, it's very difficult, especially when you don't know why you're doing it. And in terms of like the mental health as well, right? All of it is overlapped. We very much grew up with health and wellness being all about nutrition and exercise, right? But the way we were taught and the way I understand it is health and wellness is holistic. We don't. You can't necessarily be healthy if you're eating, the right foods and exercising, like really well, but mentally you're not doing good. Your relationships struggling, your social life is struggling, your sense of spirituality is lacking. So, for me, in a sense, like when I say health and wellness, it really is all about balance, finding balance in our lives. To be overall, live a healthy and happy life. I always say like we only have one life, how best can we embrace it to live it in a healthy and happy way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Growing up, how did you stay motivated? Because the career path that you chose is quite demanding as well, including all of the extracurriculars. Did you find it a challenge to find the balance?
Yeah, for sure, right? I think I am a person of routine in a sense. So I think motivation, it's a cycle, right? It's very difficult to actually keep that motivation consistent all the time. So I think from what I learned is it's actually the habits that you put in place that's going to help you to to be consistent, right? So I admit, like motivation, we all have our days, right? We all human. We
for
all
sure.
struggle, right? In the mornings, it's like, that exercise is important and you need to wake up, but it is difficult to like get yourself like, like out to the gym. So there's simple like through my journey, what I've learned is it's so simple in a sense, like something like I tell my clients and what I personally do is like when you wake up in the morning, make your bed first.
Yeah.
I know it sounds so odd, right? But it's already like a checkbox in a sense to say you've achieved something for the day.
Yeah.
90% of the time, I try to keep my phone, which has my alarm clock on, actually out of the bedroom. So it's like I'll be forced to actually wake up
Wake
and
up.
go to the other room to actually switch off my phone because
Yeah.
it's so tempting when it's next to you and then you press the snooze button and then that's already, you're starting yourself on the wrong foot. So it's really, I think, about like just building habits upon habits. There's a really, really amazing book that for me personally was quite game changing called Atomic Habits by James Clear. Um, the power of like the smallest habit and how it can lead to success or achieving your goals. So I'd say motivation is definitely, it's not consistent, but I think it's about the habits that you put in place.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So you'd say you're a creature of habit?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I'm a creature of habit, for the things that I regard as important and what I need to be consistent at, for sure. But at the end of the day, also life happens and it's about recognizing yourself, recognizing that you can't be hard on yourself as well,
Yeah.
especially if you want to be open to new experiences.
When
Yeah.
did that moment hit you where you felt, okay, I need to be kind to myself? Do you know?
To be honest, Kishan, very, very recently, innately, I am very, very hard on myself. I push myself a lot in a way. So it's a constant work in progress at this moment in time. Um, I, I have to implement, or I do implement, like I've got a daily, like a morning, ritual where, it's like um, I'll have like some water, like, like some hot water the first thing when I wake up in the morning. And then I've recently started practicing transcendental meditation. So that's one of like the first things that I'll do in the morning, together with some breath work. And, if I can get to read something like spiritual, just even if it's like 2 pages or 5 pages or something like that over there, that's something that definitely keeps me just grounded in a way. So I think it's about recognizing we're all different, right?
Yeah.
And what works for me might not work for you or for somebody else. But I think the most important thing is I think that self-reflection and understanding who you are in order for what's best for you.
Yeah. It's so funny. I've also started to incorporate hot water and lemon in the water in the morning.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
um, After speaking to so many people and they've started like, encouraging it. So I'm like, okay, let me try it and see what it does for me.
Yeah.
So far, look, I've just started it, so not too much of a difference, but I'm sure if I keep consistently with it, I will probably see that
Yeah.
change. But it's something I'm trying. You never know. Like you said,
Yeah.
try something new. It might
Yeah.
work for you, might not. That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm a morning person. I don't know about you because that's the time I have the most energy. Come 3 p.m. onwards, I'm starting to taper down. I start to
I'm
um,
exactly the same. I'm
yeah.
exactly the same. Yeah, yeah. I'm not very chatty in the mornings, I have to admit, but I'm most productive and my mind is most clear in the morning to work. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Are you like
yeah.
a 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. or is that too early?
Um, it really just depends. I think, no, I think it's a bit like a 5:30 is good.
Okay.
5:30 is good. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And even it's like, with the workouts as well, right? I kind of know myself, when you're speaking about motivation, for me to, go for a workout. So for the past, so since 2018, so my husband and I have become like avid CrossFitters in a sense. So
Yeah.
at least 5 times a week, we CrossFit. So basically, like we'll usually book a class in the morning. Well, for me, I try to book a class in the morning because I know that it's something that it's also I get it. I don't want to say out of the way, but it's like it's over in the morning.
Oh yeah,
You're running off those amazing endorphins. Like your morning
for
is
sure.
just like it starts off in such a great time. And I know myself, like in the afternoons, I'm not going to be motivated to go and work out. So, I'll set myself up for failure. So when we talk about motivation again, I feel like we shouldn't be hard on ourselves for motivation to be consistent. It's about
Yeah.
like what habits, like that's why I try to do it in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So will we be seeing you at the 2025 or 26 CrossFit Games? No?
Oh, no, no, no. I very much, also very importantly, compete with yourself. Like, yeah, compete with yourself and nobody else. Yeah.
No,
So,
those
yeah.
workouts are intense. I mean, you've got so kudos to you and your husband for,
Yeah.
taking those challenges on.
But it's also, I think it's also about, for me, why I actually like it is because each day the workout is different, right? For me to motivate myself to like go and do the same workout or similar workout every day, there's some sort of camaraderie there. You actually like end up, creating a little community of your own. You end up meeting a lot more people. So for me, I think that's more important than the actual workout. Like, it's like I'm there to do my best in a way, but not to compete with anyone else, far from that.
Right. Yeah, I know for sure. I
Yeah.
understand. But it's become a quite a inclusive, form of exercise. And I think a lot of, like you said, a camaraderie and community. Some people need that. Some people need that aspect to feel like they're actually accomplishing something. And some people are okay with solitude workouts. They're okay with doing it by themselves because they understand what they need to do, and they do it. So that's why it's not a one size fits all kind of practice. You got to find what works for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's the most important thing. It's like, it's not about worrying about what the other person is doing or striving to do what the other person is doing. It's about like recognizing what works for you. And if workouts in solitude is for you, embrace it. Go ahead. If that's what's going to work for you, like do that.
Yeah, I'm the solitude type. I don't.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a challenge for me to like work with other people because I know myself. I know what I need to do, and I'm okay with that. So I know what my body needs right now. Because I put my body through, this is like torture, I think, throughout my life. It's got my scars. It's got my everything. I call it a construction site. I never probably looked after it. Like as young kids, young boys, you a bit rough here and there, and but now you're feeling the effects of it. So I've got to be so mindful of how intense I go, because the harder I go, I know it's not good for my body. So I got to be in between.
Yeah.
But I could only understand it if I went through the journey. Understand?
Exactly that, Kishen. Exactly that. Yeah.
Yeah. And in terms of like when you were practicing as a professional pharmacist, I mean, in your profession, and say with your wellness practice, did you find that they overlap each other in terms of people who actually are coached by you? They ask for advice from a pharmaceutical side. What can they take to actually enhance, to improve themselves?
So that was very, very interesting, Kishan, because I initially came from very much a scientific background, right? Pharmacy is very much like about chemistry and science and drugs and what exactly does the drug do to the body, and how it's going to be helping you.
Hence I asked, because it's a lot of people want that quick fix.
Yeah. And not possible, Kishan. It's like almost like, yes, a lot of the diseases that we see these days are very much lifestyle factors, right? So in terms of like, hypertension, cholesterol, increase glucose levels in a sense, right? It's all like affected by our the diet and the lifestyle that we have, right? So it's almost like, yes, you can pop a pill for it, right? But if you're actually living a lifestyle that contradicts the way you're meant to be healing yourself, it doesn't really serve its purpose,
All right.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short break.
And there have been proven studies where, in conjunction with the medicines and, living a healthy lifestyle, people have reversed, like their, like people's like blood sugar levels have gone way more less. They like in a very much of a better space, a healthy space versus just taking, your medicines prescribed by the doctor. So they will definitely work hand in hand. I will never ever tell a patient not to take the drugs prescribed by the doctor, because they have a very important role as well. But synergistically, it works really well. I feel like also in university, it's actually very difficult to there isn't a lot of emphasis in terms of like diet and nutrition, in terms of managing ailments in that sense. And we're very much lost. I get a lot of patients or clients asking, but what exactly are we meant to eat? There's so many of like these diet fads around there. Everything is about calorie counting, and it's almost like sometimes, we need to look back at the basics, like the way our ancestors lived their lives. They didn't really have processed foods, right? They worked hard, in a sense, so it's almost like coming back to the basics. Something that I learned during my wellness journey and course is something called blue zones. I'm not sure if you've heard of blue zones.
No.
So they basically like different areas in the world where the population has the longest life expectancies.
Oh, okay.
And when they have studied these different populations, basically most of them actually have a like a plant-based diet. They work hard. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they go to the gym. But they into gardening, they're into farming, they're into household chores, they're doing like physical labor. They all have a sense of community. They all have a sense of purpose. And it's not like, they're not eating bread at all, or they're not having like a glass of wine or something, in the evenings. But it's almost like it's literally living a very simple life, and it's almost, I'm not sure if you've heard of like, if it doesn't run around, or if it doesn't come from the ground, in a way, it's not really food, I feel like there's a lot of people that's on the vegan fad of like eating anything vegan and thinking that it's healthy, right? But I mean, a soya hot dog or something that's like ultra processed, even though it's vegan, it doesn't mean that it's healthy. Do you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's
I
almost
think
like
I
people
understand
get
what you're saying.
a bit manipulated in that sense.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So communities like, Asia, Japan is probably a
Japan
blue
is one
zone.
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Canada also, because a lot of our whole food produce is quite good. And we don't get a lot of processed now, obviously, because of the influx of immigration numbers and people coming from all over the world. They bring their own cultures, they bring their own tastes and spices. So there is like a fusion of taste and cuisines now. And a lot more people are actually now trying those cuisines. And don't get me wrong, I'm for everybody who wants to try their own dietary or on their own dietary mission, and that's okay. What works for you. But for myself, I know I cannot do soya. I cannot do soy because it turns my stomach inside out. So I grew up with a as an omnivore. So we had best of both worlds, still today. And that works for me. I tried oat milk as well. For a long time, I started to gain a little bit of weight and stuff, and I realized, no, I can't do it anymore. I have to go back to dairy milk. I have to do the normal that I grew up with.
That is amazing, Kishen. Like, and I think it's about realizing what's good for you. There's no one size fits all.
Yes.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah. We did jump on the bandwagon of, okay, maybe oat milk, almond milk, all the different types of dairy, and it just wasn't working for me. Yeah. I couldn't do it. I felt heavy. I didn't feel good, and I said, you know what? Let me go back to just dairy milk, the homogenized full cream milk. and I feel much lighter. But that works for me, you know. So
And that's the right approach. It's all about experimenting and seeing what works for you, right? Because all of our bodies are different, you know.
yeah,
So it's even with my clients, I don't prescribe a specific diet plan or anything like that over there. I definitely guide them according to, you know, if they completely don't know, you know, what would be healthy, what wouldn't be healthy. You know, I'll give them a guideline in that sense, but I definitely don't give something very specific in a way, because it's all about, you know, the client figuring out what exactly is good for them and what's going to be working for them.
right, right.
Yeah.
I mean, you also need to be pretty confident in your approach because they probably just coming to you to absorb that information. How do you keep yourself motivated? Did you have any phases of self-doubt when you first started, or even till now, that you feel like you're doing the right thing?
I think you always question yourself in terms of whether you're helping the client to the best of your ability, in a way, because I mean, I think I take like all of my work seriously in a sense, and if somebody comes to me, I already know that they're already vulnerable just to take that step to come to you, right? It is a big step, change is big, and in order for somebody to take a step like this, it takes a lot out of the person, you know. So for me, what actually takes away the self-doubt is me knowing that I'm giving my 100% to the client, you know,
Right.
listening to the client completely 100%, you know, giving them my full attention and really making the effort to understand them, and their full background. So in a sense, you know, me knowing that I'm being 100% authentic, and if there's something that I don't know, I will do that extra research for that client. And if it's something out of my scope, you know, I have my specific network where, you know, there might be like specialists or like, you know, other professionals or something like that that might be in a better space to help that client. So I will refer on. So as long as like I know that I'm doing something to help them to the best of my ability, you know, I feel that I'm serving the client
I
best.
can I can sense you have intuitions. You know exactly how people feel, because I think you have that empathic nature to understand somebody coming to you.
I listen to my intuition all the time.
Yeah,
I do.
I can
I
tell.
feel
I
like
can
it's
tell just
so
by
important. It's very, very important. Yeah.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah. It's important to have that trait about yourself, because then you understand what they need. So anybody listening out there who's interested in a wellness coach and is a bit apprehensive of reach out to Bhakti. I'm sure she'll guide you along very nicely.
Will be my pleasure.
No, we have to also encourage everyone around us just to be the best version of themselves. I think upliftment now is like in the forefront of where we are in the world. I think everyone is looking for somebody to resonate with, if you know what I'm saying.
Kishen, like 100%. I feel like authenticity is something that is so important, you know, to feel that connection, especially in a world where I feel post COVID, or like, you know, with the way like COVID has accelerated, um, you know, the loneliness pandemic as well, right? In a way, I think that's like one of the most serious issues that we are experiencing right now. As much as there's a drive for companies to get people back to work, there are still a lot of people that are struggling working from home, you know, and we kind of take it for granted, you know, where there's just so many people that don't have that avenue to speak to, or, you know, don't have that social circle or that support structure as well. So right now, I feel every single one of us can benefit from a coach. You
Yeah,
know, it's like there's always, you know, we all need support in some way, or accountability in some way, or just like somebody just to like listen to us, just to like maybe even guide us in a way. Like whether it's a career coach, whether it's a business coach, whether it's a health coach, in a sense, it's I think it's all about just um, being open to that community that's willing to assist, that's willing to help. And it's something that's still, I feel, taboo in some communities, in a
Right.
sense, I kind of feel, because it's, um, asking for help is kind of, it can be kind of perceived as me being weak. I don't
Oh
have it
yeah.
together,
Yeah.
the same way of, seeking, help from a therapist. It's something like hush hush if, people are speaking about that. And I really feel that, like, we really need more advocates to, you know, um, like, destigmatize, asking for help,
Yeah.
because, to be honest, Kishan, like, from my friends, from my family, from my clients that I've, like, almost everyone that I have interacted in my life, we all come with a struggle, right?
For sure.
And it might look good on the outside, or, the person might have it together on the outside, but we all have our own struggles, in a
Yeah.
sense. And for me, I was always a firm believer of, like, we really only live our life once. At the end of your life, you don't really want to have regrets. You really do want to live your life to the fullest in that sense.
Yeah. For sure. I
Yeah.
agree with you. I think COVID actually accelerated the wellness path for a lot of people. In a way that it just some people broke free in terms of what they need right now, because I think everybody was just okay with the world being the way it was. And COVID, I think you know, the detriment to the lives lost, it also allowed a lot of people to look inwards, to start saying, hey, you know what, things can change in an instant, and I'm not going to be here for very too long. So let me make the best of it right now. And everyone asked me, when we have this discussion with friends, and they ask us, what was it like coming to Canada the first time when we moved over? And I was like, I felt like I belonged here as soon as I landed.
Wow.
It just felt like
Wow.
this is where I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be. Where my
Yeah.
wife, she took a little longer to acclimate or
Yeah.
acclimatize, and but I knew within a couple of days, this is where
Yeah.
I need to be.
And that was your intuition?
Yeah, it's just something
Yeah.
that I knew.
Yeah.
Okay, the lifestyle I want to live, the the environment is good for me. It's conducive for what I want to do in life, and I have the opportunity and resources available to me to actually do it. But I'm not sure if you know this, and I've already mentioned in a couple of my podcasts. Like, I was in the hospital 6 months before I left for Canada, but not your traditional hospital, but your a mental institution. Because I had depression and anxiety. I was admitted for depression and anxiety because I
Kishan,
had,
I actually wasn't aware of that.
yeah. So that happened 6 months prior to me actually leaving South Africa. So there was a lot of people who were questioning whether we would be able to do this journey. But the driving force for me to get better was coming here. So I had something to look forward to that gave me the opportunity, or gave me the strength to work through my to work through my struggles, to my inner demons, and get better, to understand that whatever I was doing was not healthy. Because I don't think if I left South Africa, I would have been actually speaking to you right now. I probably would have taken my own life somehow, because that's where I was at one point in time. That's how deep and dark I was, because there were so many things that weren't working for me, and I just didn't know how to manage it. So I fell into this rabbit hole of just making mistake after mistake after mistake, and anxiety took over, and I wasn't being myself.
Kishan, all of it, and this is actually the first time that I am hearing this, so it's really coming, like, to a shock for me.
It gives me strength knowing that if I share my journey, because I've lost so many friends to suicide in the last couple of years, and I feel it like it's my calling to share my journey, so
Yeah.
that others don't
Yeah.
feel alone, like they're going through the journey alone. Because that's how I felt. I felt like I was going through it alone. So this is why the reason why the podcast exists is to make people feel that they're not alone.
I actually like, when like, I mean, you're telling me this in a sense, and for you to put yourself out here and do what you're doing, given what you've been through, I just have just so much of respect for you. Like, I don't even know what to say, Kishen. Like, given like, yeah, I mean, the extent that what it would have been, like you said, it probably wouldn't have been speaking right now. I can't even imagine what it would have been like. So I'd like to know more, and like, honestly, like, you are truly an inspiration, and I really like admire you. Like, I just felt that you're doing this from the goodness of your own heart. Like, I didn't think that you were at such a stage where, you had reached such a stage. And I'm just so proud that you've taken the step forward and you're doing this, to raise consciousness, to raise awareness. Because, yeah, Kishan, like, so many people
Sorry.
are going through like so much in a way, and it's a lonely journey. I'm sure it
Yeah,
is, right?
for sure. Because
Yeah,
you feel like you've let so many people down. It's not just yourself that you disappointing. It's a ripple effect, because once you connected to so many people and so many communities. It's not just yourself that's struggling. uh, I had to understand that how my wife was feeling at the time, how my parents were feeling at the time, who was there for me, who wasn't there for me, who are my friends, who can I count on, who can't I count on. And I had to start learning, okay, I had to start cutting out relationships, start, cutting those toxic
yeah,
relationships that weren't working
yeah,
for me anymore. Even
yeah,
within my own mind, I thought, because I grew up in, with a certain set of values and traits, some I still carry with me till today, core values, which we still like, bless our parents have taught us really well. Just gratitude,
for sure.
thankfulness, kindness, respect,
Yeah,
those kind of core values I still hold on till today. And I think till the day I take my last breath. But there were other things that were just probably not working for me the way I thought they were working for me. I thought they were healthy traits, because I was also a sponge. Like, we all sponges at the end of the day. We all want to just be looking for avenues that enhance our life in a way that it's beneficial. Because
yeah,
you don't like everybody, firstly, and not everybody likes you.
exactly,
Like me,
exactly.
I'm a people pleaser kind of type. I will do
Yeah,
everything I can for you,
yeah,
but I was
yeah,
also taken advantage of.
yeah,
And I need to step in. I had to step into my own strength to
yeah,
actually say no,
yeah,
which is very hard for me.
yeah,
Very, very hard.
yeah.
Still till today, I still struggle with that.
Yes, yes. And is it, are you sort of somebody that's also like hard on yourself and like, trying
Oh
to
yeah,
like aim for perfection? And
I
if
used
you,
to. I
okay,
used to.
okay,
I give myself a break now. I know everything is not perfect in life. Nothing is
no,
perfect. So I used to be that way, but I'm much more calmer. I'm much more easy on myself. I do take, I do try and do the best that I can. That's it.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I have limitations,
And
but you know, just do the best
yeah,
that you can. That's all my advice to anybody listening is just do the best that you can with what you have and the resources available, and everything else will take care of itself.
Kishan, there is wellness, right? That's
Yeah.
about recognizing what you need for yourself, right? And I think you epitomize what wellness is, right? Like, you living it. You've recognized what it is to push yourself to to be that people pleaser, to be hard on yourself, and it's about recognizing what is good for you. So, like, w- when you say what is wellness, it literally is just recognizing and loving what is good for you. I feel like people have like these different labels where, you have to do this and you have to do that. But at the end of the day, we live in such a toxic, stressful, fast-paced environment. It's, wellness is about taking that step back and just like taking a break, taking a nap, reading a book as
Yeah.
well. So apart from like just the nutrition and like the exercising, in a sense, it's just resting, giving yourself a break, having fun, laughing, like, I feel like we because of the circumstances that we live in, we're just so serious all the time in a way.
Yeah. I want to ask you a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Do you feel like when growing up, did you ever a chance to process all the information you were getting, or did you just feel like you had to keep going, go? You didn't have a chance to take a moment and just process where you are. Do you feel like you were constantly moving, or were you a person that had the opportunity just to reflect on what has happened?
It was very much both, Kishen. When I think about it, it was very go all the time. But at the back of my mind, there was always something about like, I've always had this thing from when I can remember. What is my purpose? What is life about? Surely this can't be it. But at the same time, in that go, we've seen the sacrifices that our parents have made for us. We've seen we've been through the tough times, we've been through the stressful times. So that also influences a lot of like the decisions we make for our future, right? So at the back of my mind, yes, the thoughts were always there, but it was also very much about like, you gotta do what you gotta do, yeah.
That's what my next point was coming. Like, what's one thing you would have done differently had you known this earlier in life?
So, Kishan, I get this question a lot in a sense, and I've really come to the acceptance, and I'm so comfortable with saying, and don't take this wrong, like I don't mean to say this in like an arrogant way or anything like that over there.
No. It's totally.
I genuinely don't have regrets in my life, right?
That's amazing.
And the reason I'm saying that is it hasn't been a smooth ride at all, right? Like it's been challenges, and I think everyone's challenge is different, or each person's trauma is different, but trauma is trauma, right? But I feel coming out of it, when I look back, there's always been something that has come out of it. Whether it was a lesson, whether it was growth, I feel like where we're meant to be in our lives is where we're meant to be, like right now. So it's like a lot of the times, like you might catch yourself saying, but I should have done that, or if only I didn't do this, or if only, I knew this earlier, or, when I was younger, if only I listened to what my parents told me or took them seriously or something like that over there. But I think that also helps me a lot with just accepting of where I am. Something for me also, like I do get anxious very, very easily as well. And I don't know if that might be like something that I was born with, or, like it developed over the years or something like that over there, but it can really spiral out of control. And me having that mindset of like, you're meant to be where you're meant to be, I'm somebody that sort of, I need certainty as well, right? And certainty is not guaranteed as well, right? Sure. And it's about, I think, just accepting where you are at the moment. And I think doing the best for yourself in the present moment. So in terms of like, when you ask the question about like, what would I have done differently? I don't want to say anything. Yeah.
No, that's totally understandable. I guess you have every right to have, the feeling that you have. And I think this is the kind of conversations, open and honest discussions that we need to have to enlighten the broader community and within ourselves to say it's okay. There's nothing wrong with having vulnerabilities. There's nothing wrong with having anxious thoughts. There's nothing wrong with it's all part of our human genetics and genetic makeup to say we're not those kind of things. We feel it. I also learned how to refrain from saying I am those things instead of saying I feel those things. Yeah. Because we are not those entities. We are wholesome. We feel, we have emotions. We go through, like you said, we go through traumas, whether it be level 0 to level 10. It doesn't matter what kind of trauma it is. It might affect people differently. Yeah. So you have to also be empathic and understanding to that point. So when we all have our moments of frustration and we feel anger, we feel everything. We're human. Exactly. Right. And we can't take it personally within ourselves. Sometimes when we, like you said, I'm hard on myself when I feel like I've stepped on too many toes, or I've been abrupt to someone, because previously I used to be very apologetic as soon as I'm because my personality changes from when I'm not participating or when I'm not in sport to when I'm in when I'm in general life. Because when I'm on the sports field, like, my wife would be like, I don't recognize you at all. 'Cause it's,
Okay, you're in your element in a
yeah,
way, I
yeah,
assume.
it's like,
Yeah.
because I just want the best for everybody. I want everybody to be putting in 100% effort just the way I am.
Yeah.
And I think when I came out of that, I totally disconnected from that world. I was a bit more calmer. I used to be a lot. I used to be taken advantage a lot
Yeah.
more. I never stood in my own power. I was not very confrontational at all. I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it. I had to learn. Thankfully, my wife, she lives in that world where she's not afraid of confrontation.
Yeah.
So watching her, how
Yeah.
she manages situations, I learned. So because we learn from each other, right? That's how
Of
it goes.
course. Yeah. And
So
it actually helps that you're also different, right? Because that's how
yes,
you learn. Yeah.
yeah, and she learns the softer side of life,
Yeah.
where she learns how to also just take a step back and not, just react when a situation arises. So that's how, like you said, coming back to your point of community, your partner can be your community, because
Absolutely.
that's a
You just need
wholesome,
one person, right?
yeah,
Like,
that's a wholesome
yeah.
person that's giving you good energy,
Yeah.
positive reinforcements in terms of how you interact with people in the world.
Yeah. And I think you mentioned earlier, it's about the quality, not the quantity in every
Mhm.
aspect, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we used to be in school, I guess, pushed so much of information. I mean, during breaks, during each period, you never had the time to process what you learned, because you had to rush to the next class, and
Yeah.
then you start
Yeah.
learning something
Yeah.
new, totally different. Your mind
Exactly.
because I
Hasn't
learned
had time to
slowly.
switch off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes me time to process things. So I never,
Same.
so you know what I'm
Same.
saying? If we just had like
Yeah.
a period of 5 minutes
Yeah.
just to decompress,
And
take a
reflect.
breath,
Yes. Yeah.
it would have, it gives you so much of clarity
Yeah.
going into the next phase or next activity.
Yeah.
Hence, do you struggle with like multitasking? Or
Oh
like,
yes, I'll completely admit that. And
yeah,
I'm not a multitasker at all. It stresses me out. And from what I've been learning is we're not meant to be multitasking. Multitasking is not being mindful, There's formal studies out there where it actually says, I mean, like the quality of work that you end up generating is not as great as if you're just focusing on one task at a time. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I guess,
Yeah.
yeah, we gotta be so mindful of that, because sometimes I have that problem where I'll start something, but then 2 minutes later I'll pick up my phone or do something else.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's
And I think like that also comes down, I think, to the habits that we
Mhm.
also have to generate, right? Because everything is the way life is, right? Everything is instant, like that notification on your phone or in your watch or something like that over there. You don't realize how you'll be busy with something, and then all of a sudden you just get this ping on your watch or on your phone, and
Oh
then like
yeah,
you
for
just get
sure.
distracted. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we have the options now within our technologies to not, set do not disturb and schedules, and
Yeah.
times we get notifications, because in life not everything is important to react to at that point in time. I don't know about you, because I feel sometimes I have to respond to everything as soon as it comes in, because it seems as it's a bit rude
It's
if you don't.
perceived.
Yeah.
Yes, like everything is urgent,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think also, like, as I've learned, it's important to set those boundaries, not feel guilty about it, I think overall also what I've learned through this entire journey is, at the end of the day, yes, it's our lives, but it's also our full responsibility, right? Like, we have, as human beings, we all have the ability to make choices in life, And recently I've also learned is like, I mean, I believe in karma in a sense. I know it's not everybody's, in their belief system, but it's almost like sometimes, we have to go through what we meant to go through, be it our previous life, or, what has happened in this life in a way. But at the end of the day, we have that it's a really beautiful power of having a choice and how we choose to get through, what we meant to get through, in a way. So it was also like, something as simple as like not being dependent on others for your own happiness,
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, it's about making that choice, it's my responsibility, to be happy. And it's not easy, right? Like I think you can relate, right? Like, sometimes when you're in that situation, it really isn't
No.
easy, but it's almost like, accepting that I can't blame my past. I can't blame others. At the end of the day, everyone has their own lives and their own challenges and their own struggles, and it's like, if I want to change my life, if I want to make better choices for myself, be it mentally, spiritually, physically, in any way possible, I kind of realize that I have to, like, even if I'm taking help from somebody else or anything like that there, but it's
Yeah.
my choice, right? And I'm
Yeah.
responsible for it, no matter what.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head there. The choice of action we have, the choice of role we have within ourselves. It's all about choice. We can choose whether to go down that path or we choose another path. And accountability at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that.
Yeah,
Taking that responsibility as well and being accountable as well.
for
Yeah.
sure. And as a wellness coach, how does one shift people's perceptions of self-criticism to self-care? How do you guide your clients towards the thinking it's not healthy to self-criticize all the time. You also need to take care of yourself.
So, firstly, what I explain to my clients and what I've also learned is, right, change is not an overnight process, right? A lot of people would come to me to say that, oh, I just need like one session, or like, or how many sessions, can we do this in like 3 sessions? But if you're living in a certain mindset for your entire life, right, in order for you to actually change your mindset, it's going to take at least like, 3 to 6 months, right, of like constant, like being mindful and being present and like practicing, the techniques, or whatever we've discussed in a sense. And very much, like I mentioned, each person is different, like
Yeah.
I don't have a one size fits all approach, but my strategy is very much about bringing that person towards, like with my coaching skills and techniques, bringing them firstly towards a sense of self-awareness, self-acceptance, and self-love, right? Because once you get to that stage of self-love, why would you want to criticize yourself?
Exactly.
Right? Right? Like,
Exactly.
you're going to be ending up taking care of that little Kishen or that little Bhakti, and
Right.
like, truly looking out for that person, right? As opposed to criticizing that person. And that's the stage that I aim to get at, to automatically then, from self-criticism, self-love, and then automatically they make better choices for themselves,
And then they
So for me,
self-heal,
it's very
right?
much about, sorry, Kishan?
And then they self-heal.
Absolutely, exactly, right? And it's so amazing, Kishan, like with the people that I've worked on, it sometimes it blows my mind, like it wouldn't even be that many sessions, but the penny has just dropped for them on their own. I would feel that maybe, I might have to work a lot more, but on their own, they'll take initiatives on themselves to do their own research, to experiment with what works for them, what doesn't work for them. Automatically they just make simple healthy eating choices, start like, taking time for themselves, for whether it's journaling or meditating, or, setting those healthy boundaries in that sense. So it's almost just, I very much believe that it needs to come from the inside. The why needs to come from you. Somebody cannot tell you why you need to do this, like you need to be able to recognize how important you are, and how important you are for yourself in order for you to make these changes and, make them sustainable as well. it's like, when I speak about like the overnight changes, if chances are it's like those, like the diet fads, if you're going
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
going onto like those, those 6-week programs or something like that over there, guaranteed, right? If you're not used to eating the way like that you do, you're going to fall off the wagon,
for
right?
sure.
So it's very much it's very, you know, um, it's a deep process,
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
and
it's very
that's
long.
why,
It's very
yeah,
long.
people
It's
think
very
that,
dark.
yes, yes, it's like, and I think that's why I choose not to do it full time as well, because it's just so important to hold space for that person, right? Like I said, right, just for the person to reach out to you is such a big step for them, right? And now, you don't realize like the role that you have, and the responsibility that you have to actually like hold this person's hand and guide them through this process. It's really big for them in a sense. So it's something that like you have to take serious, and it's not superficial. It's not just about, okay, this is what you need to do to eat healthy. This is what you need to
No,
do
for
to
sure.
exercise. But it goes very, very deep in a sense. And it's uncomfortable for the person, but essentially a lot comes out, but very, very, I think, it's
Transcendent.
transformational. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. Like those changes are just, it's beyond beautiful. Yeah,
yeah,
it really is.
yeah. I can attest to it. It's a very long journey. Still, I mean, you continuously be improving yourself. But once you do most of the groundwork, and you dig up all the weeds that were meant to be lifted or pulled, you start to see the fruition of your labor come full circle in terms of like light and feeling light. Because our bodies also tell us when something is wrong. Most of us, some of us, your body can tell you when something is wrong. For myself, when I'm stressed and anxious, I begin to lose weight. For some people, it might
Yeah,
be the opposite of that.
yeah,
So we also need
yeah,
to listen to our bodies and where we are
yeah,
in terms of. And I think
for
how you
sure.
approach it is it's so holistic and it's so authentic that you also they don't feel like as if they're coming to somebody um, ingenuous to say, okay, I'm just going to give you a plan and you need to go and do your work. No, you take the time, you listen to what they
Yeah,
need, and you coach them accordingly. And that's what a good coach does in any in
yeah,
any aspect
yeah,
of training something or someone.
yeah,
You
yeah,
need to listen to what is required at the time, not just regurgitate what you learned in school or whatever. It's also about human emotion. End of the day.
yeah. And each and every one of us is just so different. So, so different. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Um, we can have this chat going on for a long time. It's so interesting. I love having these chats. It's so interesting to learn about people's journeys and where they
Yeah.
where they've come from, how
I
they're
felt like
managing
I
life.
learned so much from you. Yeah.
No, it's my pleasure to share it because I feel that I've always known this about myself, that I've always helped people along the way. Just never knew how to hone it and do it in a more holistic way to reach people more. So I think I'm thankful that I was able to find that way, to find strength within myself to share my journey and not feel ashamed about it, in a sense.
Do, do you mind me asking you, like, in terms of like the journey that you've
Yeah,
been
for sure.
through, um, do you feel like you have any regrets or anything like that over there? Do you feel like something meaningful has come out of all of this for you? Like, looking back at everything.
If you had asked me that question, say 5 years ago, I would have said, yes, I had many regrets. But
Yeah,
today I don't have any because I know I had to go through that phase of life to get to where I am right now.
yeah,
So there's
yeah,
different phases of life where I would have answered you differently. But right now, I wouldn't have changed my childhood for anything, where I grew up, how I grew up, who I was interacting with,
yeah,
nothing, because they
yeah.
all taught me a lesson.
Of course, of course. Yeah, I think we can resonate. Well, have a good understanding with that. We can relate.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
And it's just healthier to think to have that kind of mindset, because then you don't hold on to excess baggage that doesn't serve you right now.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Eckhart Tolle's teachings. I know he wrote the book Power of Now and A New Earth, which I haven't, but it's like, like being in the present moment,
Yes.
that's the most precious moment it is.
Yes,
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
I mean, sometimes we miss the present moment, but that's okay. And there's sometimes we really stay in it and we enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'd like to end like most of my podcasts off with just a fun round, just to keep it light. One wellness habit you swear by.
Drinking water, like, yeah. There's so many. There's so many, like of these tricks, but I think just drinking water, it's been a game changer for me.
Lovely. Your guilty pleasure without feeling guilt.
Chocolate.
Okay, cool. Morning person or night? I think you answered that.
Morning, yeah.
Right. One book or podcast that you deeply inspired you.
Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Lovely. And Zen and Now. No, I'm just saying.
Sorry?
And this podcast, I'm just saying,
Of course, yeah, definitely.
Favorite way to recharge when you're feeling drained?
Taking a nap.
And if you have to give one piece of wellness advice in a single sentence, what would it be?
Be yourself and embrace who you are. Like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. Like, be yourself and listen to yourself. Yeah, be who you are. Authentic
and real. I love that to be. That should be the words of the day. Authentic and real. Cool.
Yeah.
No, thank you so much, Bhakti. I really appreciate you taking the time out to share your journey with us. Truly inspiring. I love having these conversations with like-minded people. It's uplifting, and it just makes my day also so much better. So thank you.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You're welcome. And I wish you all the best for the future, and I can't wait to see how your wellness practice grows, to reach so many people and enlighten so many people around the world.
Thank you so much, Kishen. Yeah, looking forward to being in touch, and please continue doing what you're doing. The world needs it.
Thank you so much. Yes, guys, thank you so much for joining in today's episode. I hope you enjoyed that one, and until the next one, stay zen. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.